Okay, this is Straightway, Georgia, and we are working on food storage today. So we've got Sister Sonia. She's our food storage expert, and in her hand is what?
5 milliliter Mylar, 5 gallon Mylar.
Mylar bag.
Mylar bag.
Okay, and so what do we do with this?
We use it to put whatever it is we want to put into storage in here, so we can seal it up and put an oxygen absorber in there.
Okay, and this works well for long-term food storage.
Right.
Make sure that there's no oxygen that can get to it.
Right.
That it won't go rancid.
Right.
It helps to protect your food.
Right.
Okay, so we take the bag and we do what with it?
We're going to put it down in your 5-gallon bucket.
5-gallon bucket.
You can choose to get a white 5-gallon bucket if you want to. They're all food grade. What you want to look for is the number 2. I think it's there on the bottom. Does it say? The little triangle here.
Oh, yeah.
It really doesn't matter what color it is when you've got Mylar in it. If you're going to put, it's different if you're putting food directly in it, but it really doesn't matter what color it is as long as it's food grade when you've got Mylar in it.
Okay. All right, we'll be back with the next step. Okay, so we're starting with the rice, and tell me what you just said about the rice.
So you really want to freeze your rice. You buy it at the store, you bring it home, you want to freeze it for 2 or 3 days, pull it out, let it thaw out for a couple days, and then Pail pack it.
And why do you do that?
To try to control a pest, just in case. I mean, normally most products are pretty safe, but just in case as an added precaution, you want to try to keep your pest load down.
Okay. All right.
Well, get a better handle on it. Right,
So how far are we going to fill this up?
well, we're going to fill it up to a certain point.
All right.
Then I'm going to stop and I'm going to shake the bucket.
Okay.
So make sure that I get it down in there good.
Oh,
And we're
right.
spilling it.
it's okay.
We'll be all right.
It cleans up well.
Okay. See how much it went down when I...
Right.
I'm sorry about spilling.
It's okay. Don't be sorry.
I like to push it down and check it.
Okay.
So I can get a little bit more in there, because my goal is I'm actually going to keep all of this. I'm going to Mylar it down here close to the top of the bucket, but I'm going to fold it all up when I'm done.
Okay.
And then put a lid on it. But I know it can hold a little bit more.
Why don't you want to fill it all the way up? What happens when you fill it all the way up?
If I fill it all the way up and then I Mylar it, I can't get this down in there and get my lid on good.
Right. Okay.
So I don't want to fill it up to here because I can't get my lid on.
Right.
If I had a lid, can somebody get me a lid? I'd show.
Somebody give her a lid, please.
I'll show you, because the lid has a little bit of depth to it. See how the lid's got a little bit of depth to it?
Yes.
So we don't want to fill it all the way to the top because we need room.
Okay.
But I know that I can put more in there. And it's just by doing it that you'll know where your level is. Okay. And I'm good. So,
All right. So we're good here. Now, why don't we want to open the oxygen absorbers right now and put it in there?
because when you open up your oxygen absorber pack, it automatically exposes all of them to oxygen, and you got a long way to go.
So this is our pack of oxygen absorbers. We want to leave them closed until we're ready to use them.
I leave mine closed until I seal. I seal every bag to about the last 3 to 4 inches. I seal it all the way till about here. I do that with every single one of them. Then I come back and open my oxygen absorbers. I shake them up, activate them, drop them in, start dropping them in all of my buckets, and then I start sealing.
Okay.
Because as soon as you open that, they start activating anyway. So might as well put them in your buckets and let them start activating rather than having them out in the open and just putting one in, sealing it, putting one in and sealing it.
Okay. All right, so we're going to fill all these buckets right here. This is everything that we have to store for this week. And we'll go back and we'll get more to do it again in another 2 weeks. So we'll be back and we'll show y'all what it looks like once our buckets are filled. Okay, so we have all of our buckets filled. They are being labeled with the date and the contents for each bucket. So everything is full. So now we're moving on to the next part of mylaring or sealing the top of the mylar.
So what I have is, I think this is called a square. It's a metal square. It just helps conduct heat. I fold my bag over. I set it on the top of the bag and I fold it over. And I use old flat irons, and I make sure that I've got them up as high as they'll go. And I try to keep it where I can see the light on them and make sure that they're staying hot. And I come through and I seal it. But as we go along, you'll see that I'm going to seal it just kind of almost temporarily. I'm sealing right down through here. I'm going to stop at maybe the 3-inch mark.
And why are you stopping there?
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up.
Okay.
I'm going to keep sealing, and over here at about the 3-inch mark, I'm going to drop, after we're done sealing all these buckets, I'm going to drop my oxygen absorber down here. So I'm going to seal it from about here on over. I'm going to keep this open. I can drop my oxygen absorber down when it comes time.
Okay.
But you're going to kind of know, I seal mine all the way to the top just in case I've got any creases. And you're going to be able to see how that's kind of melting. You'll know that you're successful in sealing it when you see that it's melting. And you can see that. But I do mine all the way to the top. Now I do keep 2 flat irons going all the time, just because you never know when one might cool down on you and you'll need to pick up the next one. So this one's completely sealed except for right here, and I'm gonna seal all the buckets first and then put my oxygen absorbers in and start sealing them, each one.
Okay. All right, so we will show y'all the next step after we get everything completely sealed. Or not completely sealed, but after we get everything sealed and ready for the oxygen absorbers.
So we're down to the last bag. We put our oxygen absorbers in them. What you do is you're going to push on the bag and you're going to push as much air out as you can. You've got your top last 3 or 4 inches that you're going to seal up where you put your oxygen absorber in. So we're just sealing that up. You're going to take your time. You always, excuse me, take your time when you're sealing, because this is the last. Sealing's one of the most important parts of this. You can kind of tell, you can watch and see as this bag melts. So we're going to go over it good. All of it, all the way through, we're going to go over it good. But now, we're just going to turn it over best we can. We're going to leave it for 24 hours. Hopefully in 24 hours these will be
sucked down and packed. If not, we're going to wait another 12 or so and see. We'll wait 2 days. And if it's not, then we'll have to start all over. Shalom.